Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are about to do our braking burn for our suicide entry into the Julian atmosphere. Of course, we're not going to be entering quite yet. We're going to be going into about a 6 million meter orbit, 6,000 kilometer orbit, something along those lines. We've got plenty of delta V to adjust that. I just wanted a little bit of pad room, just to be on the safe side. This is, of course, the closest we've gotten to Joule yet, but we're going to get a whole lot closer than that. Okay, so this burn will be happening momentarily. It is, of course, a 2200 meter per second burn with a nuclear engine. So that's going to be a bit. Won't be too bad, because we've got much better thrust to weight ratio over Joule than we do over the Sun. But it's still going to be about a 15-minute burn. However, in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the KER body data here. And let's see here. High atmosphere altitude is 120 kilometers. Low space is 200,000. Okay. That's a lot lower than I was expecting. High space is 4,000 kilometers. So we're definitely going to be in high space here. So 120,000, so 1.2 million is where the atmosphere, well, not technically where the atmosphere begins. I can't remember how this actually works, but we want to aim for about that 120,000 mark there, then. Okay, 120,000 meters. Gotcha. So once we have finished our braking burn here, which we are making very good progress on, actually, we are now technically in orbit over Joule. But once we've finished this up here, we're not going to need to do any sort of inclination changes. I'm just going to immediately, at our periapsis here, which will be in about 40 minutes, immediately start a retrograde burn, and we will lower our apoapsis down, well, certainly as far as we can, safely. We'll see how much delta V we have and where all we can get with that, but it should be pretty close. So let's just go ahead and finish up this burn. We've got another 1,200 meters per second to go. Not too bad. Another 8 minutes. Excellent. And of course, the next thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to be putting a lander on pull. We don't currently have one there. And once we do that, that will actually finish the Joule system for this playthrough. Almost. As far as the playthrough goes, the technical scope of the playthrough, which is land on all of the things, go to all of the things, the Joule system will be finished at that point. However, we do have this contract, and we're not going to complete the contract in time, but I'm going to do the contract for the orbital station around Bob. We do have that in progress right now. We're just waiting for like 48 years. Well, at this point, probably closer to 40 years, since this is our second mission since then. I'll need to check that once we're done with this mission. But we're almost done with our braking burn here, which is going to be another 500 meters per second, or about another 3 minutes. So that is pretty great. Of course, once we are done with pull, the plan then is to do the same thing, communications satellite around Eeloo, followed by a lander, which will be interesting because Eeloo's orbit is so eccentric. Like, it crosses inside the Julian orbit here, but then over on this side it's so much further out. So over here it's actually cheaper to get to Eeloo than it is to get to Joule, but out here it's way, way more expensive. Now, is that a problem? Maybe. But we can always do phasing orbits. That said, Eeloo has a really, really long orbit period, and it looks like it is currently approaching its closest points, so that will be handy for us. But we finished this burn, so let's go ahead and put in a retrograde maneuver at the periapsis. We'll make a new periapsis. Better than the old periapsis. There we go. And we'll go down to about 120 kilometers. Since that appears to be, according to KER anyway, the correct altitude. So right about Oh, we've got plenty of delta V for this. Let's actually go to right around 100 kilometers. Since we do want to enter the atmosphere, but we want to do it quasi-safely. Hang on a moment. I need to go this direction, and I need to just slowly ease it. Ooh. Well, that's convenient. Okay, execute that. Fantastic. So as we get over here, we're probably going to continue to burn retrograde a little bit, and we're going to burn off some of this speed, essentially circularizing at the periapsis. Now, I'm probably going to do it before we enter the atmosphere, which means we're going to have to go a little bit radial, which is going to be interesting. But for right now, this will have to do. So we'll get this burn done. This will be about a 3-minute burn here. There we go. Make that a 5-minute burn. Excellent. Just what I like to see. So we do have the delta V to do this, for sure. Which is good. I was a little bit concerned, but I thought we had it. We've got about another 15 minutes of burn in this tank, and we're going to burn off most of it trying to circularize here. But this will definitely get us into the Julian atmosphere. And then somewhere around here is where we're going to be, well, probably somewhere closer to here, is where we're going to be doing a bit of a radial retrograde burn. Just trying to circularize our orbit as best we can before we hit the atmosphere. Just want to bleed off some of this speed. We're going really fast. And sure, we've got a massive heat shield, but I'm not sure it'll be enough. We'll have to see. Okay, so we've got about 100 meters per second left in this burn. So right around here, I'm going to go ahead and set us up a maneuver. Right now. Okay. We've got about an hour to set this up, so that's not going to be a big deal. Let's go ahead and burn radial out a little bit here. And retrograde a little bit here. That might be too radial out. I don't know. Let's see. And then get that back up here. Keep burning a bit more. Well, at this point, radial in would be a little bit better. Yeah, I like radial in better. Let's go ahead and recreate that. And let's just go radial in. Like so. And then we can burn a little retrograde. I mean, at this point, we have to burn radial out. And then a bit more retrograde. Keep burning retrograde. There we go. A bit more radial out. Push that orbit a little bit. Keep burning retrograde. Okay. That's about as good as we're going to get, it looks like. So we keep doing this until it stops going back up. Or rather, until it... Yeah, somewhere around here. And then we go ahead and have this be still at that 100,000 kilometers mark. So right about... Come on. Oop, that was too far. That's close enough. Okay, we'll execute that node. So that's going to get us in about 10 times closer at our apoapsis. So we'll have a much, much better approach. Now that's going to burn off a significant portion of the delta V we've got left. We're probably going to do another adjustment as we come around over here. And burn off the rest of our delta V. And then at that point, we will be out of fuel. Hello, Joule. You are very massive. I'm going to go ahead and run our temperature scan and our gravity scan. I'm not going to run the mystery goo observation, though. Is that really all of the parts we have for science? It doesn't seem right. Maybe not. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and physics warp here. Note that I did not run the mystery goo observation yet. That will be run in the actual atmosphere. Okay. So, we will be pushing our periapsis a little bit further this way, for sure. So this will be delaying our entry, but that's fine. Oh, I like that atmospheric scattering. That looks great. It looked a lot better before the sun flare came in. Oh well. I do like a good bit of atmospheric scattering now and then. Okay, so we've got about another 900 meters per second on this burn. And that's going to burn about half of what we've got left. So we definitely don't have that much left. We should consider, for sure, that the next burn will be our last burn. So with that in mind, we're going to have to make sure that our periapsis is at about that 100-kilometer mark when we finish that maneuver node. Because otherwise, we're going to have problems. We're going to have a low-orbit satellite at that point, which is not what we're going for. Okay, come on in. We've got another 300 meters per second to burn here. We are just about there. Our periapsis is dropping. Excellent. Got that nice radial retrograde burn going on. That's what I like to see. Gorgeous. Okay. So our periapsis hit a little lower than I'd like. But I'm going to go ahead and burn radial again. And we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, radial out appears to be pushing our apoapsis, or rather our periapsis, the wrong direction. I'm not sure we can actually get that much better of a position than this. Okay, so that's the apoapsis there. Actually, we can get a much better position than this. This is almost circular. Can we push that in a little bit more? 117 is, I believe, our altitude that we're doing this burn at. So I think we can just do something along the lines of this, and this will be very close to a circularization. And then as we enter the atmosphere, we'll be able to just simply do a retrograde burn. Something like that. Okay, execute that node. Let's see what we've got. Now, these solar panels are going to burn off quite soon as we approach the Julian atmosphere here. Are we coming in on the dark side? I don't think so. Because our periapsis is currently here. Cannot warp faster than 100x. Okay, we are officially in Atmo right now. Abort node execution. Surface velocity minus. We're ditching the node. And we are just burning off the rest of our fuel. Just trying to kill as much speed as we can. I'm also going to retract these solar panels for now. Let's run our temperature scan, transmit. Let's run our mystery goo observation, transmit. Yep, go ahead and transmit it. Atmospheric analysis. We need to open up our cargo bay. Transmit that data. And close our cargo bay. I'm going to go ahead and re-extend our solar panels here because we're out of energy. This isn't going to happen. Nope. Okay, so those are going to burn off immediately. That's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and select the antenna here. Allow partial. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and ditch that stage now. There we go. Inflate our heat shield. There we go. And we are going to sit at surface velocity minus. And we'll see how long it takes for this to burn up. We have entered the first atmospheric flight above Joule. We are still very, very high above the atmosphere, as you can see. But we are losing speed quickly, which is great to see. So I'm going to go ahead and start transmitting as much data as we can from our atmospheric atmospheric data, we aren't generating much power. All we've got is our RTG, so it is what it is. What do we got for ablation on this heat shield left? I don't know. It doesn't say. That's a little bit obnoxious. At any rate, this is a suicide mission, so it's fine. We're just going to get as much data as we can. I should have allowed partial from the get-go, but that was my mistake. We are slowing down substantially. We've lost about 1 kilometer per second so far. Our heat shield is performing like a champ. I mean, with this heat shield, that's what we expect. It's a 10-meter heat shield. Kinda ridiculous. Not enough electric charge, blah blah blah. Yep, that's all fine. Okay, we've lost about another kilometer per second. We are down to 3 kilometers per second of surface velocity. So far, so good. This is going really well. And yes, this will eventually be crushed by the atmosphere of Joule, even if we don't burn up. But that'll be fine. You can see our G-forces right now are kind of high. As we decelerate, we're down to 1.5 kilometers per second. Okay, down to 1 kilometer per second. We are able to slow down quite substantially. Our RTG is slowly generating us some power. Very, very slowly. And with that, we will eventually, theoretically, have our data fully uploaded. We are currently 20% fully uploaded, and we're now moving at 600 meters per second. I'm going to go ahead and turn RCS off. There we go. So far, so good. We are getting close to falling straight down, which means we've almost killed all of our horizontal velocity and are just fighting gravity. We've killed about half of our horizontal velocity, technically, I think. Well, we're at about a 45-degree angle that we're falling at right now, is what's actually happening there. So we got 2 more data. That's great, and we'll keep getting data. 350 meters per second and still falling. I'm going to go ahead and start physics warping. 24%. We should be at 25% very soon. We're receiving more data every couple seconds. 28%. Excellent. And it's pretty much just a power constraint that's keeping that from happening. But we've now killed all of our horizontal speed, and we are just fighting gravity at this point. We are actually still decelerating, which surprises me a little bit. Of course, we are still entering the thicker portions of the atmosphere. So this is actually going to take quite a long time for this probe to fall. We're at about 100 meters per second right now, and we are still, 112 kilometers above the surface. There is no surface. We're still 112 kilometers above the something. I'm not sure what exactly it is that it's measuring there. But we're now 40% done uploading our data, so that is excellent, and we're still decelerating, actually. I think once we have our data fully uploaded, I may just jettison the heat shield and suicide this thing, although we are flying low right now. Interesting. We may be able to get a little bit more science. But we still need to continue to fall and transmit additional science back, which could take some time, considering we're just running on an RTG. 48% done uploading this data. So I think what's probably going to happen here, we are getting close-ish to the end of this episode. I would like to watch this thing explode. We're at 95 kilometers right now, so we're actually going down quickly-ish. We're still decelerating a little bit, but we're at 93 kilometers now. Make that 92 kilometers. We're 56% done uploading our data. That's what's really important right now. Technically not, but we have the whole tech tree unlocked at this point. But realistically, I want to get that data. So our deceleration is definitely slowing. So very soon we will be able to do a little bit. What are we at for our upload? 64%. Okay. That's not too bad. We're starting to hit the thicker portions of the Julian atmosphere now. It's just a big ol' sea of green. I mean, I guess that's basically what I expected. And we are going to be able to get some low data, so that's good too. However, I don't think this thing is going to explode this episode. It will probably explode next episode, and I definitely want to have that on camera. So I think what's probably going to be happening here is very soon we will have our upload completed. We are now 76% done with that. And then we're just going to continue to fall, and we're going to transmit back a little bit additional science. But pretty soon here, I'm going to put a cut in. I don't know. We've got 4 minutes left. We're going down at about a kilometer, what, every 20 seconds or so? And then times 4, so hang on. Yeah, about a kilometer every 5 seconds of real time. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we live. Well, we're not going to live, but maybe we die in this episode. Maybe we don't. At any rate, I definitely want the death to be on camera. So we are at 92% done uploading our atmospheric data now, and we're going to have a bunch more data to upload from the low atmosphere, which we are now in. And we've still got another about 66 kilometers to fall. We are still slowing down our descent as well. But 96% done. That should be very, very close now. Okay. We are now done, I think. We have no data right now. That's exciting. Where's our satellites? We should have data with this odd one. That's a little odd. Maybe it's because we don't have enough power? But we do have power. I don't know, but if we can't get any additional science, then I don't see any reason in prolonging the life of this particular probe. So we managed to get here, and we can get substantially lower, but I think... Well, hang on a moment. I want to check one thing first before we do that. Oh, the antenna broke somehow. That's interesting. Well, there's the problem. Okay. In that case, there's no point in keeping this probe alive. Let's jettison the heat shield. Oh, that's exciting. I didn't think of that. Can we wiggle our way loose? The answer appears to be no. I should have changed attitude first. Okay, well, I guess that's all there is to it. We have no real way out of here unless we can wiggle our way. And interestingly, I'm not doing that wiggling since we have limited probe control. I think that's MechJeb doing that. But this thing is too stable. It's too stable. It's the opposite of the problem we had before. Anyway, it is time to put a cut in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we will watch this probe kill itself. See you all then.